Not that good. What's with the red sheets, man?
Pretty red. Like what?
Come on, Scott. Give him crap. You can step out of the room and you start speaking because then it gave me a chance for me to tell them to act really like bored. Because that cute enough. You thought they were going to be cheering. Oh, Scott, boy. So one of his tips was have fun.
Green's frozen.
Goodbye.
I can't read that shit.
Questions, feedback? Yes, sir.
Yeah, at the end there for the key steps, you said be prepared to add value. Is that something that you look for when you're talking to someone to understand what's really important to them and then relating somehow what you do back to what's important to them? Or what do you mean by add value?
Okay, that's a great question. So let's just say, let's come back to, someone's shared a little bit about their life and you asked that question. So based on what you shared with me just now, John, everybody checking this out, everybody listening? Based on what you just shared with me right now, if you could get dinner for an hour with anybody in the world that could change your circumstances right now, someone that's got expertise, you could just pick their brain for a complete hour, who would that be? And now let's say that their answer is Michael Jordan. Okay, so he says, I'd pick Michael Jordan. And here's what I can say to that. I'd say, wow, what an unbelievable person that is. Whether you like basketball or not, just pretend like you do. Okay? Be in the moment for them. So, wow, that's an incredible person that you picked. I can see several things from my perspective on why you would have chosen Michael Jordan based on your circumstances. But tell me about him. Why Michael Jordan? And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I say, so let me get this straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming from Michael Jordan, that would change things for you. Oh, absolutely. I'd love to get that wisdom and that knowledge. So when we say add value, be prepared to add value. Here's the first place you're going to add value. You say, wow, fascinating, incredible. Matter of fact, I probably would pick him too if I was in your circumstances based on what you said. I don't know if I can open up the door to Michael Jordan, but John, I'll tell you what I can do. As you were talking about those gifts, those qualities, those characteristics that you were looking for, there's somebody else that comes to mind that has similar qualities, similar gifts, similar traits, similar things that they could contribute to you. If I could open up that door to this person, and then there's a chance to edify, would that be something you'd be interested in doing? Would that be an interview or a conversation you'd be willing to have? And see, it's not really the person, it's what they have to offer that matters. So if you think about it, does it really matter other than bragging rights that you got to sit with Michael Jordan? If the information is the same coming from people and you edify that person as much as you could Michael Jordan, do they really care? Unless it's bragging rights. If it was more about, yeah, I just want the photo op and the autograph, that's one thing. But if they really want to change their circumstances, they'd just be just as happy to meet with Nikki Pittman as they would be to meet with Michael Jordan if you put the value on that person. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And some.
So I was in a situation this past week where I'm based off of your leading. I asked a friend, so like, what part of this isn't for you? And he was like, oh, this isn't for me. I'm like, so what part of this isn't for you? So there's like certain basically, for almost anything, but especially network marketing, there's certain like canned response that's basically like weapons. So in one of them that I think all of us are going to run into is, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. So like knowing sort of basically responses that basically destroy that bullet and just neutralize it and dissolve it, I think is a big deal. So like coming back with something like, you know, along the lines of what's your favorite company? And then asking them like to diagram that out. So you got a CEO at top and then like who's next? A bunch of VPs and who's under them? Managers? Who's underneath them? What is that? So when you leave Apple or Microsoft or Google, do you still get paid?
Yeah, that's good. Can I invite you to the thought?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here's what I would invite you to think about. Instead of, because that to me, that's good, but there's a difference between good and great.
Absolutely.
And so here's a great because it's more simple and it's more to the point. So when somebody says, this sounds like, or I think it, and then they fill in the blank with something negative. Let's just use, you know, and it makes my skin crawl when somebody says illegal pyramid scheme. That is so naive, and I'm sorry, excuse my French, but it's asinine. It's idiotic that somebody would actually say something like that. Was that too strong, Tom?
That's beautiful.
Okay. Whenever I get the look from Tom, it's like he's either absorbed or not happy. So, no. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. It's so naive. It's stupid on their part, but you're not allowed to say that to them. Okay? You can't say that. And sometimes you have to keep your feelings to yourself. So here's what I say to that person. I say, okay, I think what you really need to say isn't all the terminology like illegal, pyramid, or scheme. Can we agree that everything is a scheme? Right? So if we can get to the point of the term scheme, okay, people use that like slanderous. But if I can say, can we agree that everything is a scheme? Scheming isn't a negative word. It's strategizing, it's brainstorming, it's getting creative. That's what scheming is, okay? So the real question I think you're asking, if I'm role-playing with you, Monty, I think the real question you're asking, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're wondering if this is legal or illegal. Is that more your question? Right? And so that's what they really want to know. But nobody cares what the structure looks like. Whoever cared what the structure looked like? I mean, the ark floated and it wasn't supposed to, right? So as long as the boat floats, that's what matters. We don't care whether it's round or oval or square or triangular. It doesn't really make any difference as long as it works. So We can take pyramid out of this. We can take scheme out of this. I think what you're really wondering is this legal or not? Well, let's look at what makes something legal or illegal. And so if you get right to the heart of the matter, is that your question? Yes, that's my question. Okay, why don't you help me figure this out? Is there anything illegal that you can see about our products? No. Okay, great. Is there anything illegal about the fact that people are paying for our products? No. Is there anything illegal about the fact that somebody's making money from the sale of our products? No, I guess not. Okay, and there's two people that can make money. Somebody else can make the money, or you can make the money. Which do you think is in your best interest if you want your life to improve? Now, can you find fault in that from a legal or illegal standpoint? And they say, no, I guess not. Because you see, these are no-duh questions with no-duh answers. And so when you pose it like that and you just get right to the heart kindly and professionally, game over.
I have an opinion about this.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you guys know I hate Democrats. I hate Republicans. I hate libertarians. I hate all that stuff. All of them with a passion. So, you got that in your head right now? Okay, good. All right, so let me ask you. So, have you guys got children together? No. Okay, because I didn't think so, because they look extremely in love. So I want to talk about you. What do you do?
I'm involved in a few different.
Good. What do you love to do the most in your life?
I love to create.
Huh? Create?
Yeah.
That's a lie. Want me to tell you what's true? What you really love to do? You love to be with her. Even more. And then you love to create, right? Okay. You bet. And you answer that yes, no matter what.
Tom. Who said they're not creating?
That's a good deal. So good. And so what about you? What do you love to do the most in the world? Think of something. Run. You love them. Good. Okay, so here's the deal. When somebody says to you, is this a pyramid scheme? They are lying to you. They didn't care whether it's a pyramid scheme or not. They know it's a pyramid scheme. When they say they don't have the money, when they say they don't have the time, and when they say what's the last one? How much money are you making? They know the answer to every one of those questions. They're trying to be polite to you. What they really wanted to say was, I don't like you and I want you to leave. Swear to God. Because you have, with your arrogance, went so fast into the presentation and threw up on them, they're trying to figure out a way to get their body out of the room because their head's already gone. Does that make sense to you? What do you love to create? Create everything? Just like create?
Actually, ultimately, what I really love to do is tell stories.
You love to tell stories. Tell me a story.
Sort of story you want to hear.
Your favorite story in the world, what is it?
There's a couple of them, but basically they run along the lines of essentially like great life.
Sweet. And you want to write the story, then make a movie, ultimately? Or do a play? More film. And you would just like be completely blown away if you wrote a film and what do you call it, a screenplay, and somebody bought it and you turned it into a movie and you were standing in that movie and there were people in the movie and at the end of the movie they were all clapping, telling you what a great movie it was. That would be what you want, right? Okay, have you started writing a screenplay then?
Yep.
Okay, so what we just did was we got the hell out of young Jevon. And we went back to what he loves more than anything, which is making a movie about Braveheart. And don't go back there. Don't go back there with your debate. You lost him at whatever you lost him. The minute you kicked him out of the room, if you want to lose him for a friend forever and his beautiful woman in his life, keep pressing. Keep pressing. Keep pressing that his job's a pyramid scheme. Keep pressing that his job sucks. Keep pressing that he should be in this and everybody that doesn't believe in this is wrong. You'll run him out of your life. And you'll also validate why everybody hates multi-level marketers. Right. Shut up and go back to the screenplay. Does that make sense? Yes. Love them. And then in a couple of weeks, if you haven't completely alienated them, Call and ask how this, don't call and say, I want to try to give you the definition of a pyramid scheme. Call and ask how the play is going. Get back in there. And he's going to say, I love that. I'm so passionate about this thing. And I've got to be in such unbelievable shape because I've just decided I'm writing this play and I'm going to be Braveheart. And I've got to have a body like Scott Bardulis, and I've got a little bit of a problem because I have a body like Tom Chenault. And you say, that sucks. And then you say, I've finally written the play, and I realize I'm going to have a bunch of money to make this movie, and I don't have the money. And you go, that sucks. And you don't say anything even then. And then you wait a couple of days and say, mate, I've been thinking about you. And I can tell you, I know this guy's named Sanjeev Jabia, and I know Scott Bardulis, and they want to talk about where you're headed, and it ain't toward Tom Chenault, it's toward them. You ought to try some of that nutrition they're taking. Maybe you can get that kind of body. And I know this guy named Tom Chenault that might be able to help you with trying to figure out a way to fund that screenplay. And you are going to be in, what kind of car do you have?
I got a couple.
You know, what's your favorite one? You're what? A Viagra? A what? An Acura? Okay, you're gonna hop. I gotta buy one of those. Okay. You hop in that Acura and you start driving. You will be on my front porch. Like, I want to know how to look like Scott. You're not gonna say, is this a pyramid scheme? Define it for me. You're going to say, if it's a pyramid scheme, count me in, because it's going to give me the Braveheart body, and it's also going to fund my movie. Woo! Is that right?
Okay, open your screen.
Next speaker is David Rutz. Yes. Yeah.
What Tom was talking about, I had half the week on Wednesday. I had 3 invites. And one of the individuals said, well, how big is your church?
Yeah.
How would you answer that?
Well, there's a couple of things you can do. You can say, how big is yours? Is that salary enough for you? Yep. I mean, that's harsh, right? But but so is it the way they ask. It's rude. It's rude to get into what other industry do you walk around saying, hey, what's your salary? How much money did you make last month? How much did you just deposit? It's ridiculous. So I like to just diffuse it and say, you know what? I know where it's headed and what it's going to turn into be, but I'm brand new. And I'm enjoying being new right now. What I'm interested in is if you want to go with me, not a conversation about how big my check is when I just got started.
Or you can say this. You can say, you know, I'm new at this. And you know I'm working like crazy. And you know it's a network marketing company. And you know I love you. And you know you and I sat down because I wanted to show this to you first. And I'm telling you something right now. I'm going to build 4 legs in this thing. And those 4 people are going to be the luckiest 4 people in a year. Because those 4 people, I'm going to try to make $20,000 a month here. And for me to make $20,000 a month, 4 people have to be making $5,000 a month each. And at the end of the year, I'm going to have about 3,000 people in my organization. And I hate to break it to you, you know I'm not making any money. But you already knew that. I just thought you were one of my 4. Did you notice Scott's shirt in the video? By the way, the little thing with the 2 pockets on it, the little stitching. That's why I wore this shirt, was because I was trying to be like Bardulis.
See, isn't that just wisdom right there? Oh, yeah. Not the part about the shirt, but just.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Thank you. Okay, question.
I had a comment. I don't want to take away. I mean, Tom's thing is the mic drop thing, but there's the piece of feeling the rejection from their comments, and I don't know how personal I want to get, but there's some abandonment stuff in my history, you know, at this point, and I used to have a hard time with it. Hard times. I used to take it. I used to take it personal, you know, and I started realizing, and it was through a friend going through a divorce, and the illustration is much better than me explaining. We all have strengths and we all have insecurities, right? And so here, he used to, with his family, go on these cruises all the time with his previous family. And so there's a commercial that came on about cruises. Now, her situation into this marriage was her husband just abandoned her, took all the money. I mean, their savings was gone. She just left her with zero. What's her insecurity? Being a financial help in this thing. Now, remember the commercial? Commercial comes on, and she's like, oh, look at those Carnival cruises. Oh, that's extravagance. Those people are wasting money. What's he feeling? He's like, you know, he's providing for his ex, her kids, his kids, college, and he's like, hey, man, finances is my value. And she's devaluing that whole thing. Why? Because she's insecure. She's not trying to lower him down. She's trying to raise herself up. So when they come back with these excuses, man, it's either their insecurity or their ignorance. Isn't it? It's not a judgment of who we are.
There you go.
That's right. That's
Right?
Good.
And so we got to either help them with their insecurity or educate them in the ignorance. And then that's where the choice is. So we're pushing a choice, and it's not even time for a choice yet. Right? So that's helped me, man, because, dude, when I feel like someone is rejecting me, I get I do that with lawsuits. But that's one thing that's helped me to want to keep reaching out.
Hold it for a second. Stay up there for a second.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, so you're a different man. Bring your wife. You and your wife went to GoPro.
Yes.
You aren't the same human beings.
No, I.
Had nothing to do with Bardulis, had nothing to do with me, had nothing to do with longevity. You two look different to me. What's that all about? Look at that.
You know, I shared this before. It was the possibility, because when we talk about dreams, I'm like, I don't really care if I drive a Honda Civic or a BMW. I don't even know what those are. That's not my dream. But I have a girlfriend, my best friend from college, who just moved out with us, and she is going through a hard time. And I don't know, you know, eventually where her story will be, but if, and that if was big, if this could help somebody like that, and I could serve somebody and give them opportunities, because she doesn't have many opportunities, then it's like, wow, it wasn't all about me and like what car I drive, because really I don't care. It was about helping a girlfriend that has been in my life for 29 years. So.
You love her,
Yeah, I do.
and you want to give her something to give her a great life because she's had a bad run of the cards.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah. So instead of like, am I going to be successful in doing this? She's like, I got to reach Joni. I got to give her an option. I got to show her a way. And all of a sudden, it's a different motivation, isn't it? I've watched her start blossoming like a beautiful flower, man. She's like, I have to be successful. I at least have to get her to the point that she has a choice.
It's made your business better and your marriage better.
Yeah.
How do you beat that? Hold it. How did you like Denise?
Denise
Oh, she was awesome.
She was awesome.
Awesome.
Her speech was all right.
Yeah.
Awesome. It was one of the most flowy, connected. Like some of the other ladies were like, bomb here and then bomb here, you know, in their speech. Hers was good from beginning to end. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. Denise, I think, was amongst my favorites
Yeah.
because it made sense for
Yeah.
me.
Okay, that's good news because she watched you just now to say that. Give Denise a round of applause.
Any other questions? Feedback yet? Okay.
Okay, wait a second. Yes.
Yes.
This is more fun for $10 watching this here than in your living room eating your bonbons, right?
Yeah.
All right, are you happy about that? All right, good. All right, keep going.
All right. So the next speaker is David Retz. You guys understand that he's been in the field for a number of years. He founded a company called Escape International. He is one of the the well-known leaders in our industry. We're blessed to have him at Longevity. He successfully launched a company called David Allen Capital. Some of you have heard of the microloan services division inside of Longevity, and that is going like nuts right now. And a lot of people are having fun with that. A lot of people are having success with that. But again, it's just a little sliver of pie inside the Longevity bakery. So again, he's going to talk for a little bit about how to fill your weekly calendar, how to get busy, how to stay busy, how to be on fire. And I think you should take some really good notes right here. Understand, he knows what it's like to be in the field. He knows what it's like to take the risk and start a company. He's been through a successful merge into Longevity, and they named him this past year the Vice President of Global Services. That's a whole new division because of all the services that have come on board with Longevity. So let's roll that clip right now.
Well, hello and welcome to this section of the virtual training, where we're going to talk about how you can help impact the expansion of your business utilizing one-on-one meetings or two-on-one meetings and your weekly meeting in your area. Now, as you're looking at this, let's keep in mind, our business is designed, the Longevity Pay Plan is designed not just to pay you for getting customers, but to also pay you to develop a team of agents who are effective at getting customers. So the ability to expand your team and the rate at which you can expand your team obviously will impact your flexibility and freedom that you generate from our compensation plan. So as you're going forward to expand and grow your business, that weekly meeting is such an important part of your growth, because that's an opportunity where prospects can come see and actually feel the success of the business. They'll see other people that are building the business just like you. Well, you may have a weekly meeting that you're trying to get more people to, or maybe you don't have one yet. So because of the Longevity tools that we now have, the new video, the overview video, betterment video, amazing video, and the new slide deck or PowerPoint slideshow, you actually have two tools that you can lean on to help get the message out about who Longevity is, what Longevity means, and what type of opportunity we have. So if you're filling that meeting or you want to have a meeting, here's a couple things to think about. The one-on-one presentation or the two-on-one presentation is a great gap between the invitation and the meeting. See, when you start, we always say, make sure you invite. I'm sure you saw a great section from Scott Fardulis on inviting. So you've got inviting. After inviting, then you have a tool that you put them in front of. We've got the great betterment video they can watch now. Once they've seen that and they say, hey, yeah, I do want to learn more, now it's time to invite them to the weekly meeting. To get them to show up at that weekly meeting, there's a couple steps, either a three-way call or a one-on-one or two-on-one meeting that you do prior. So let's talk about the one-on-one and two-on-one meeting. This is an opportunity for you to get together with them, to focus solely on them and what it is they're looking for, and to walk them right through that new slideshow. You've got it right there. You can literally click slide by slide, and even if you just read the slides to them, they're that effective where you'll know exactly what to do as far as how to cover what our opportunity is. Now, these meetings are only designed to do one thing, to sort, whether they're interested or not interested. They're not meant to sell anybody. They're meant to show the greatness of what Longevity is, what we believe in, why we believe in it, and then if they like what we believe in, they're going to move forward with us. If they don't, they won't. It doesn't matter how good you are or how good you aren't. Follow the proven system, and those who will. Those who won't. So you can rely on those tools. When you get together with them, I always suggest two-on-ones rather than one-on-ones, which is yourself and your upline leader and that prospect, or you and someone in your team and their prospect, and you're there helping them grow the business. But either way you look at it, a one-on-one or a two-on-one, you've got the tools now, and you can find those at longevitydeck.com. longevitydeck.com. That's where the slideshow is. Download them. They work on your tablet. They work on your phone. They work on your computer. Now you've got a roadmap to walk them through. So the whole goal is you've invited them. You've given them the video. Now you're sitting down and doing one-on-one. You're going to focus on what they need, what they're looking for. You're going to specialize, spend a little more time in that area on the presentation. And of course, you're promoting your passion, because that way there's conviction that comes out of what you've got. And if you're nervous up front, don't worry about it. Be nervous. Go through the nerves anyway. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway, right? You do it anyway, eventually you won't feel that same fear, that same hesitation. You've got the roadmap, you follow it, now you invite them to the weekly meeting. What's going to happen is this. Because they've already seen the video, because they've already seen the one-on-one, they pretty much know everything. Now they're coming to the group meeting. They're going to be more apt to show up. It's not just an invitation. It's now an invitation to something they want to attend because they've already done some homework. Now they're coming ready to move to the next level. You bring them to that weekly meeting, your show-up rate goes way up. Now let's talk for a minute if you don't have a weekly meeting. Isn't a one-on-one a weekly meeting? If you brought 2 people or 3 people, see, you can start a weekly meeting most weekly meetings start right in the home. If you look at what's happened in Los Angeles, they've got a training center now, an actual center that they lease, that they do meetings in all the time. You know where it started? 4 people in a home. 4 people in a home. If they said, oh, we got to have a big weekly meeting before we get started, that center wouldn't exist today. But they started one by one by one. And they had a couple people come over, and they did a presentation. And then they said, tomorrow we're going to have another meeting, or the next day we're going to have another meeting. They continue to expand that. And over time, that group started to grow. And before long, they needed a facility. So when you first start, you don't need a facility. Your weekly meeting should be at someone's home. You can call it a private business reception or a private business launch, right? A home party. Everyone's got different names for that. But the bottom line is this. Your first meetings, whether it's a one-on-one, a two-on-one, or a 1 or 2 to 5 or 6, becomes your weekly meeting. That's how they start to grow. And that old saying, if you build it, they will come, the opposite is true. If you don't present, they won't come. If you don't start having presentations in your market, you're not going to expand your business locally. If you start doing it, you will. It's okay if some weeks the show-up rate is a little, it's not really predictable and it does this. That's okay. Over time, you start getting diversification of efforts. Over time, you have more and more committed people. Over time, that meeting in your house goes from one person to 2 or 3 or 5 or 7. And before long, you're saying, we need a hotel room, or we need to go to that restaurant and rent that banquet room. And before long, you start saying, it costs too much to have a hotel every month. We should rent an office, just like they've done in LA. But it starts with that one-on-one. That's the magical meeting that gets you started. And that starts with you being willing to do it. So don't hesitate to pull out that slideshow, put it on your computer, and start practicing. When you go to a presentation that someone else is doing, take a notepad and take notes down for what do they talk about on slide 1? What do they talk about on slide 2? What do they talk about on slide 3? And watch it over and record it if you have to, and go home and practice. And then you'll know the words that work on each slide. And you just share those words over and over. So the whole purpose of my discussion right now is to take you from a level of inactive with your expansion to active. So many of us are relying on meetings in our area that don't exist, so it's your job to start the meeting. If you don't have the courage to get the courage or find a partner, someone in your team, and talk to them about, hey, let's start that weekly meeting out of someone's home. Schedule a day and get it started. And it all begins with that one-on-one and that 3-way call, which starts from the invitation. So you got the invitation to the video, to either a 3-way call, which invites to the meeting, or a one-on-one or 2-on-1 meeting with that prospect. That's how you'll start to attract people to your business. Without it, you won't. Without it, you won't have expansion. And without expansion, you don't have an expansion of income. With those things, and because of the great tools of longevity, you will have expansion. You'll get better and better. Or as some people say, gooder and gooder. And it'll grow. And eventually, you'll have a team that you need to support rather than it's just a team you need to expand with. So get with your upline leader who's already doing meetings if you want a little coaching on how to do them. But the good news is longevitydeck.com is where you can download the PowerPoint. It's a great model to follow and also a great video to share, first of all. Enjoy the rest of this virtual training, and we believe in you. We believe in your expansion. And every meeting is nervous at first, but becomes comfortable over time. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day.
We're here.
Wait, before we get
The
started.
only way you can have a meeting is to hook up with somebody and keep them close. And sometimes you have to hold their hand. Sometimes you have to hug them. Sometimes you have to put them in your car and take them to the meeting. But it has to make them feel like it is something like they are wanted and loved. And Scott was very creeped out as I grabbed his hand walking in there. Because you are a little homophobic, my friend. All right.
Like the Godfather says, hold your friends close and your enemies closer.
There you go. So let's go. What do you? So you guys are masters of meetings. I mean, it's something that you are masters at. And as I look around the landscape here, you've done an unbelievable job. And yeah, so how do you do that? And why is it so important? And how do you know, Denise and I are, you know, I believe in one-on-one meetings big time. I'm kind of a closet introvert, so I have a tough time with those home meetings. But I got to get over that. Who's laughing? You don't believe me? I have a club. You are okay. Do you know why I'm so out there? Swear to God. I am so out there because I'm so petrified of you. That is the truth. Okay, so, and you know that for a fact.
I do.
And so anyway, those one-on-one meetings, then you drive, or three-way calls, and driving them to the meeting and making that meeting the most important thing in the world is critically important, right?
It is so
And you're a master, so I'm getting out of
No,
your way.
no. Okay, this is good. So, you know, like, again, you've heard this a lot of times, but I want you to hear it again. When we decided to engage with longevity, get wet. We dove in the pool. We got in the deep end. You know, what's great about jumping in the deep end is you have to swim, right? You have to swim. If you just get into the pool and you start on the shallow end and you just take the first step, you're only ankle deep in 4-inch water. That's not commitment. That's not commitment at all. There's an escape strategy there. It's called 180 and one step out here and you're finished. So the second step, you're only up to the top of your shins. The third step, you're above your kneecaps. The fourth step, you get your private parts wet. It's amazing. They start to get committed at that point, right? So the point is you have to get into the pool. You have to get wet. And the best thing is to just dive in, jump in. Would you agree with that?
Completely agree.
Yeah, because then you have to swim. It's the same thing with eagles. When the mother kicks the little eaglet out of the nest, they know at that moment that bird's going to learn how to fly. And if someone doesn't push you out of the nest, you won't learn how to fly either. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
One of the greatest meetings on the planet. How many of you, don't raise your hands, have ever been to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting? I mean, good. So you don't have to raise your hands. I mean, you know, it's the greatest thing in the world. It's everywhere. And when somebody first starts drinking, they don't know how to first stop drinking. They are scared to death. They are strangers in their own skin. They have no idea how they're ever going to make it through the day. So then somebody invites them to a meeting full of people that they're going to hate because they hate themselves so much. And they come in there, they're scared to death, and they try to live through an hour, and then they look up at the guy and go, okay, well, that was great, but what do I do next? And they say, come back tomorrow. And it is like the scariest thing in the world. But the name of the game for the people in the room is to make that person feel so great about having the courage to come today that he'll actually come back tomorrow and not drink between the meetings. Does that make sense to you? Okay, well, do the same thing. I mean, you got to grab those people and love them. Love them till they come back. Love them till they can love longevity. Love them till they can love sobriety. Love them till they can love the products. That's it. Does that make sense to you? Yes. It's just like your church. You know, don't know. I should have used that for an example. But the fact of the matter is, it's got to be like that. I walked into your church that day, and those greeters, I mean, they attacked me like I thought I had the. I thought I had that like S on there, like Cinder. You know, and they're like, we gotta get that guy. They're offering me coffee, toasters, all kinds of stuff. Sit over here. I mean, I'm embarrassed. But yeah, that's what it was like, because they wanted to make me feel at home and welcome so I would come back and hopefully not sin between Sundays. Same deal. All right.
When the soldier is up, when someone does this, what are they doing?
Checking your heart.
Okay, like right now, I can literally feel very strongly his pulse.
Yeah.
Bump, bump, bump. So this is really important. You know what? You know why people do this? It's to make sure that somebody's heart is beating normally and in good rhythm, that their pulse is okay. If this is like, you know, 140 beats and they've been resting for the last 20 minutes, that's not a good thing. If they've been super active and it's like 20 beats a minute, that's not a good thing. There's some things called normal. And so what you want to do, the reason why you have one-on-ones the reason why you have weekly meetings, these are all touching points. It's a chance for you to take your new person and do this.
That's a good deal.
Do they have a pulse? Are they beating okay? Is everything all right? Do they appear to be healthy? You know, do they have a fever? You got to check that's good.
Resting
That's good. Yeah.
BPM 59. Read them and weep, folks.
So what David Brett says, you know, and keep in mind, there are idiosyncrasies about your system or our system. There's things where you're going to notice there's a culture in the region that seems to flow. There's multiple lines of sponsorship in this room. However, there's still a culture here. You've been plugged into this culture, right? Would you agree with that? And if you went all the way across the nation to, you know, the East Coast where Cheryl Morley is at, if you were plugged into what she's doing as a leader, it would feel like a different culture. So sometimes it's easy to go, well, wait a second, I just heard what David said. That's not what I've been doing, or that's not what I've been told to do. As long as you're plugged in to a leader that is rank advancing, that is remaining qualified, that is getting results, then I wouldn't change what you're doing inside of that culture. You follow what I'm saying? Okay, so you have to know your culture. You have to stay focused on that system, because here's what will happen. Even though the principles are the same, and the products are the same, and the compensation plan is the same, and Steve Wallach is the same, all across the board, methodologies might change a little bit, and here's what we don't want you to do. We don't want you to go, oh my goodness, I just heard from Cheryl Morley, and she said to do it this way. And all of a sudden you're going, oh my goodness, what do I do? That doesn't exactly line up. As long as you're plugged in to your upline who's getting results, stay the course on what you've been doing. Would you change anything about that?
100% right.
Yes? Yes. Cool. So if you heard something a little bit different about what David Rutz had to say, it's okay. Take things that you can glean, use that, move on. Okay, speaking of moving on, who's next?
Wait a second.
Yes.
Our job, and we committed to this today, that we were going to make the intermission better than the movie. If you can help us, because we're kind of like losing our steam, don't hesitate to jump in, right?
Right.
We need help, so just keep it fun and keep it. Otherwise, you're just going to doze off, and we're all going to be eating bonbons. So we have. Oh, I just went and had a gluten-free marshmallow treat in that place. That was unbelievable. So if you do need a little picker-upper, those things I ate them all, so I don't think they have. But it was unbelievable. So that's the whole goal here, right?
Agreed.
Okay, good.
Any questions about David Rutz's session? Anything come up for you?
Well, I love the fact that it's invite to a one-on-one or a three-way-call or a two-way or two-on-ones, and then the weekly meeting.
Yeah.
Second,
Yeah.
or third, or fourth in this case. But
Yeah.
that's so important. That's what we've been doing. It works.
Yep.
Like it's a relationship important. So that front end piece of it is a relationship. Then you bring it.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. Okay, here's a question. How many of you in this room are not in Tom's or in Denise's or Juliet's and mine's organization? Raise your hand if you're not part of our organization. Just curious. Okay, that's nobody. Here's what I would do. On my laptop right now, I don't know if you can see this or not. There we go. Okay, look at this. This is how my laptop is set up full time all the time. Look at this. I've got social media here. Okay, and by the way, can we please understand that this isn't how you make your money? You don't make your money by clicking on Facebook and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and liking everything. That's not how you make your money.
You guys act like you get $1 a like.
I'm telling you. It's amazing. I look at the effort and energy that people put into Facebook, whether it's the posts or the likes or the comments, and I'm like, wow. And that person says they don't have time, and that's why they're not getting results. We're watching you. We can see where you're spending your time. So think about this. I have this open when it's appropriate. Yes.
I want to make a comment.
Please.
Listening to you guys, I just realized that one of my friends I met with a couple weeks ago said that they were going through a divorce and stuff,
I needed to get a second job. And it just inspired me.
Can you come speak into this mic because all the people on Zoom need to hear you.
So a couple weeks ago, I met up with a friend, and he was telling me he was going through a divorce, and he needs to get a second job. And yes, I was listening, but I wasn't paying attention, or I was paying attention but not listening, until I came today and realized I was not being a good friend, and we have an opportunity for him. And I think after today, I'm going to try to meet up with him again.
That right there, that's the kind of stuff we should be celebrating right there. People recognizing opportunities, taking advantage and following through. That's the celebration that we're looking for. Okay, next. Look what this is right here. This is strategic. I don't just have random tabs opened up here. And notice that I'm not distracted. Some of you have like 20 things opened up here. And you can get distracted so fast. Every one of these things has something to do. And this wasn't planned. I wasn't going to show you this. So naturally, I wanted you to see these tabs. This says success story. Okay, so everyone's getting distracted by chocolate. That's what's going around. Great job.
Should we click on the chat? Sorry, we're all getting chocolate. We're getting chocolate.
Wow.
Whoa.
I'm getting distracted too then.
Yeah. Do you want us to
All
click
the
on
cool
the
kids
chat
are-
while you're talking? Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are we fortunate to have good chocolate or what? Yeah. Wow. Have you guys had the creamy peanut butter heart-shaped ones?
Oh. Yeah.
Those are the best. I'm going to give, okay, there's these. This is the dark chocolate. There's the triple truffle. There's the round hard peanut butter, and there's the creamy peanut butter. Which one's the best?
Creamy peanut butter. They're good. They're real good.
I like the truffle. Dark. Okay. Everybody listening now? Pass the chocolate? Okay. Success story. If I were you, I would have this open, and I would put in both, just have them open. Put in Tom and Denise and Scott and Juliet right there. Ready to roll. Instantaneously. The next video I have right here, this is strategic. Why is this strategic? Because at a moment's notice, I can drop it to somebody right now, even in the form of a text message. I can text it or email these links. This is the Betterment video. The third one that I have here, and I don't know how it got erased. I don't know. It's just not right now. The third one I have here is a recording that I did. It's 41 minutes long. And it's a PowerPoint presentation with how to get started. And it's my voice narrated right over the top of that whole thing. And it goes beginning to end all the way through. It's a presentation. So here's what I say to somebody. I would say, great, you're in a stepping stone phase of life. Remember the question I asked? You're in a stepping stone phase of life. So you'd be keeping your options open then, wouldn't you? They say, yeah. I say, great. Here's what I'd like for you to do. And I do this if I'm working smart instead of hard, or if they're at distance. One of the two. I'd like for you to get to know me a little bit better. If we're going to work together or have the propensity to do anything together, I'd like for you to know a little bit about my wife and I. It's 3 minutes long. Can you commit to a 3-minute length? Can we do that, Jacob? Does this sound familiar to you? Yeah, raise your hand, Jacob. That's Danny's friend right there. He's brand new. He just got started this week. And Danny did a 3-way call with me. And this is exactly what happened. I'd like for you, if we're going to work together, we need to get to know each other. I want you to watch my story. And then, if you like that story and you think there's something there you can relate to, I want you to watch a macro level video as well. And it's called Betterment. This is going to give you a high level view of longevity in about 6 minutes. Can you commit to doing that? And he said, yes, I can. Okay, now we're up to 2 videos. And I want you to watch these in the order that I send them. So there's an order. if you're still with me, Jacob, after the 3-minute video and you don't hate me after that, and you think there's something there, and you watch the high-level video, which gives you a really broad idea of longevity, then I want to drill down to the meat and potatoes. And if you'll watch a 40-minute video, which will give you all the micro details of where you fit in and how everything works, then we can have an intelligent conversation when you have all that under your belt. Are you willing to do that? Yes. So see, you have to start with the relationship. That gets personal. Then you go to the high level of longevity. Then you go to the micro level. And by the time they've got all that over their mouth, that's 50, not even an hour. All of that, beginning to end, every objection is dispelled. Every option for their life is baked in there. And we put the value on top of that because Jacob told me what he wanted out of life, and I said, I'm going to help you do that. But you need to get this information under your belt, and I want you to bring all your questions to Super Saturday. So that's what he's doing here today. He met with Joel this last week as well. That went really well. Was that yesterday or the day before? Yeah, 2 days ago. So perfect. See, it's perfect. Same thing happened with Sean Bailey. Raise your hand, Sean. We met each other early last week. Started with my neighbor down the street, and he said, I have a customer that walked into my motorcycle shop. I want you to meet him. We said hi. I had him watch these videos. When he was done, I said, come to Wednesday night. It's a pulse point. He came on Wednesday, and he showed up, and we met each other for the first time. And really what I was doing was doing this. Can you get that on camera? Yeah, I was just doing this when he showed up on Wednesday. I'm like, yeah, he's excited. I can feel his heart beating in there. He's excited. And then when that was over, he went home and told his wife. At first, she was a little bit down. She's an unbelievable lady, by the way. And rightly so. This happens a lot with spouses. Have you ever noticed that before? One's excited. They go tell the other one. They're like, what are you thinking? Yep. And so I said, let's meet. I said, well, let's get to know your wife. I said, where are you going to church? And he said, can I tell the story? Are you okay with that? It's kind of personal. So you're fine with it? He said, we haven't gone to church since we've been married in 3 years. And I said, great. Would you like to go to church this Sunday? He said, that is the craziest thing that you're asking me to do that. Yes, I would like to go. And so he brought his wife. And what was that an opportunity to do? In addition to church, it was a pulse point. We got to build on the relationship. We got to have fun. We had some lunch together. We spent 2 hours, 3, including lunch, you know, from showing up to church to having lunch afterwards. That whole relationship was built. And it was because of that. She's like, this is amazing. These people are amazing. But we gotta be a part of what's going on here. And it changed her whole perspective. So this little flow that I just told you about is extremely valuable. Use that. And then you have great conversations afterwards. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, yes, in the back.
Okay, I have a couple questions. First of all, I'm not Juliet Argulus, here in Scotland. It's the longest name on video. So I'm going to share my story, and then what? These are the leaders that I work with.
Yep.
And share your story.
Yeah. So you got to come up here and because there's a whole bunch of people that are like, what is she saying back
Let's
there?
not acknowledge her for being so serious. She is like asking smart, great questions.
These are great questions. Okay, so we have a great question here. This is June McKenzie that you're going to hear from on the phone or on the microphone here.
Okay, so I'm not Juliet Fargulis, married to Scott Fargulis, so I don't have a great video and a great story, although I have my own story that is also great. But so I'm going to tell my own story and then what? Share your video as a pulse point.
Yes.
All right. Next question is, where am I finding that 41-minute video?
Very good question. So we haven't really had a great place to put it out. You'll find it on mastersoфenrollment.com after today. And well, we've also sent it out to as many people as we can. So anybody who's asked for it, we've just sent it. How many of you have that video in this room, by the way? So look at these hands here. So quite a few people have it. Just ask for it. We'll make sure you get
Can I
the
post it on the link here?
You
I
can.
mean, what is that?
I will forward it to you in just a second. When I get
Okay.
wait here, I'll forward it to you. Yes. Okay, wait, well, hold on. So June's question here. Really great point. So she's obviously going to tell her story. I'm going to make one up really quickly so you can hear it. Hey, I've been working in my career for 20 years. I've been working so hard. I see no hope for owning my time anytime moving forward. I love what I do. However, there's things that I want to accomplish in my life. And if I don't ever get my own life back or my own time back, it's never going to happen. And that's why I'm connected to some really good friends of mine, Scott and Juliet Bardulis. What I'd like for you to do is meet them over the phone, but before you do, I want you to know a little something about them. I'm going to send you a video clip. And you can do the same thing with Tom and Denise. That's what we do. So when we send this out, we can also send, if I'm going to put anybody on the phone with Tom or Denise, I say I want you to know a little something about them before I put you on the phone. I can tell you some amazing things about them, which I will do right now. However, I want you to see their story so that you can relate to it a little bit. Yes?
All those videos are on Jeopardy video.
They just go to Vimeo
Good
and
point.
search Bardulis and find it.
Is that the video you're talking about, the longevity video?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so that's easy.
Yep. Yep. So is it longevity?
Yeah, so
Vimeo.longevity.com.
You don't even have to be that complicated. Just go to Vimeo.com and search Bardulis. You'll find it.
Okay,
You'll
good.
find both of yours.
Okay, perfect.
All right, I have a
I wanted
question.
to add-
My name is, I'm sorry.
I wanted to add to June, to what June was saying. I have done what you're saying. I send out Scott's and Juliet's video, and then I say he's the person who's narrating. And then I say, if you like what you hear and you want to meet them, I can arrange that for you.
There you go. That's good. That's good. That's really good. Okay. Go ahead, Al.
All right, so my question is, who does Tom meet with when he brings new prospects?
That's a great question. That's a great question. 'Cause all of you, let me have that.
Here's compass.
I call Jesus. No, I call whoever's gonna. Every one of you are a perfect arrow in my quiver. I have got to pull the perfect arrow out to talk to the person. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be him. It doesn't have to be Juliet. It's got to be somebody can relate to. So it might be anybody. Stop worrying about that. They're just trying to figure out a way to have a belonging. So it doesn't have to be some zillionaire success story. It's got to be real. It's got to be authentic. It's got to be somebody they're going to fall in love with. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole movie right there. That was a great question.
Love it. That's beautiful.
Well, thank you, Scott.
No, that really is. Yeah. And if you've never been around Tom, I've heard him do exactly what he's talking about. He's thinking, and he'll be like, oh yeah, Elise, she works at Biaggi's. And
she's in the restaurant
business. She's in the restaurant business. Next thing you know, he's calling Elise. It doesn't matter that she's 3 months new in the business. Does she still have a story?
Yeah.
She's here. If you paid attention to her, she's learning every week. She's already got lots of stuff under her belt. She's great for stories, and so are all of you, because you're here too, and you can help anybody with your experience so far by sharing your journey.
I am a dinosaur. We are all clear about that. And so people look at me and say, oh, well, I'd be doing well if I were like 65 years old and been at the company since, they were still plants when Tom got into longevity. So the fact is, so then I bring somebody like Danny on, who's 12. That's because she is like lit up and she's going to relate to the person on the phone with me. Make sense to you? Yeah. If you want to catch a mouse, you have to think like a cheese.
Not smell like a cheese.
Not smell like a cheese.
Think like a cheese.
Yes. Not cut the cheese. Think like the cheese.
Hey, when we do the next video, can you turn those lights on?
We can do that. I don't know. Something's in here. Yes.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, right.
Okay, any other questions on this topic before we move on? You good, Jim?
Good, thank you.
Yes? Okay. Andrew? Good?
So my question is obviously that just rolled out that you deck, but you're still moving on your own, role, so the presentation, the previous presentation. Is that what you still want us to do at our weekly meetings?
Great question. So we're talking about the PowerPoint deck that you've seen inside the back office. And some of you have gone, should I be using that? Or should I be using what we've been using? And the answer is, you have the right to do what you want to do. However, here's what I would do. Here's what I'm doing. that PowerPoint is going to be a work in progress. Okay, so what is created so far is amazing. I mean, they've modernized stuff. They've put really hip things in there, relevant terminology, gig economy, swapping where you shop, omnidirect. You've heard all those terms. Those are really brilliant. However, there's still, if you've noticed, there's still an incomplete component that the company is adamantly working on right now. And Tom and I are actually helping with this topic. And we're going to break it down for you. The piece they're going to put in there is what we're going to show you today, which some of you have already seen. It's the compensation component of the value add for why will somebody swap where they shop. Will they swap where they shop on product quality alone? Maybe. Will they swap where they shop, you know, on the convenience of ordering online? Maybe. But they'll do it for sure, or more likely for sure, if everything makes sense at the exact same time. And one of the things that has to make sense is that instead of the big box stores getting paid money, you're getting paid the money, and we need to show that piece in the PowerPoint presentation, and that really flowing smooth in there is a work in progress. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So until that is absolutely smooth, and we're really working hard on it right now. We had a very lengthy, detailed conference call Tom and I did with Steve and Dave this past week, and we really spent a lot of time focusing on that, and it is coming together very, very nicely. It's almost there. It's not quite there, so be patient, and you'll see the next phase completing that. Okay, so let's move on now, and let's go to the next segment. I think we're here on this one.
Yes.
How to hold an effective home meeting by Helen Watt. One thing that you should know about Helen is that you haven't necessarily heard a lot about her, but she is an inside of longevity. And we all love Helen Watt. She's very personable. She's easy to talk to. She doesn't get a lot of credit because she's so quiet in the background, but she's one of those people that really has things going on. Her husband, was it CIA or FBI or what was that, Tom? Do you remember?
FBI.
Was it FBI? Her husband was with the FBI for a number of years, still is there? Yeah. So they have a very interesting life.